The following is a production of FSN, where Northwest fans come first.
The holiday weekend is nearly over, but there's still time to enjoy one more feast. Tonight, the Huskies look to remain perfect against their Northwest rivals from Montana. The Grizz also come in on a roll, having shot down the Ducks in Eugene. Forget shopping and food. We have what you want right here. Two hungry Northwest hoop teams right now on FSN. It's hard to imagine anyone in college basketball playing better than Husky forward Quincy Pondexter. And when it comes to defense for the Dogs, Benoit Overton sets the tone. Just two reasons why Dog fans have seen nothing but perfection. They're 14th rated Huskies. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bank of America Arena in Seattle. Along with Francis Williams, I'm Tom Glasgow. Nice to have you with us as Montana and Washington renew their basketball rivalry. And let's start first of all with the Husky offense that gets triggered by a pressure defense, Quinton.
Well, we showed Benoit Overton there in the opening. He's really the person that really gets that whole thing going for Washington. But I think another reason why they're so effective with that pressure defense is the fact that they go 11 deep. They come at you in waves on the defensive end, and with relentless pressure, they take that defense and turn that in the offense, gets them in the open court. That's Husky basketball.
Yeah, a formula that has worked quite well for Lorenzo Romar's club. A guy, though, that hopes to deal with that pressure and come up big for the Grizz, a young man with ties to the area, and that's Anthony Johnson.
Well, Anthony Johnson is a do-it-all guard for the Montana Grizzlies. From Stadium High School in Tacoma, Yakima Valley Community College, this guy averages 22 points a game. He shoots 49% from the floor, 41% from three. He's 93% from the foul line, which is 5th in the nation. He was first-team All-Leaguer last year, Big Sky newcomer of the year. So he's a very good player, very good off the bounce, but handling that Husky pressure, a lot of that responsibility will fall on him tonight.
Yeah, Anthony, just one of a number of Grizz who call the state of Washington home. For more on that, we connect with Brad Adam. Brad?
Well, Tom, thank you very much. Yeah, you could say that the 6 players on Montana's roster played their high school ball here in Washington and now their college ball with the Grizz. They stay in the Northwest, perhaps looking for Big Sky country, or at least the Big Sky Conference, led by, of course, Anthony Johnson. He had 20 points in the last game, a win over Oregon. You've also got Michael Taylor from Brewster, actually played here in Heket as a freshman while attending Eastern Washington. Another name a lot of fans recognize from Eastern Washington, Spokane, Sean Stockton, the nephew of course, Gonzaga great John Stockton from Ferris High School. These 6 players and the rest of the team, it's going to be their 3rd road game in a row for the Grizz, but a homecoming of sorts, of course, for these guys who played their high school ball and still reside in the state of Washington.
Well, right out of the gate, we talked about how well Quincy Pondexter has played, averaging a double-double. And look, he has delivered more than anybody could have imagined, helping fill that loss of John Brockman.
Well, the last game was just spectacular for Quincy. 30 points, 15 rebounds, both career highs. He's 2nd in the Pac-10 in scoring. He's 11th in the nation in scoring. He leads the Pac-10 right now in rebounding, field goals made, and offensive rebounds per game at almost 5 per game. So right now he's playing at an elite level, and being the only senior, that's the leadership that the Huskies need him to provide.
And really thriving in that role to the degree that I think he really embraces it and enjoys it. Terrific young man. That smile, that's worth $1 million, and it's been outstanding for the Husky basketball team to see him lead the way he has. When we come back, it's the opening tip-off between the Grizz and the Dogs right here on FSN. Welcome back to Bank of America Arena in Seattle as we get ready for Montana against the 14th rated Washington Huskies. Good to have you with us. Francis Williams, Tom Glasgow, Brad Adam. Francis, that young man right there, when the Huskies look to bring a little muscle off the bench, Lorenzo Romar is going to turn to Tyrese Brashears. Tell us about the redshirt freshman and what he can bring to this ball club.
Well, he's a big physical presence on the interior, and that's one of the things that the Huskies really need. They're bringing him along very slowly, but in the last game, played 20 minutes, which was a career high, scored 12 points, which is a career high, 7 rebounds as well, and they just want him to continue to improve. And so far, he stayed injury-free. If they can continue to keep him healthy, he's going to be a big part of the Husky arsenal.
Out of Price High School in Los Angeles, let's once again connect with Brad. And Brad, I know you had a chance moments ago to catch up with head coach Lorenzo Romar.
Well, Tom, you're right. You know, this has been 8 days since the Huskies last played here against San Jose State. Normally, Coach Romar doesn't like that big of a break this early in the season, but when you think when practice started in October, most of the guys out, a lot of guys out with the flu, so they never really had a chance to practice as a group and really catch up. He thought this last week gave them a good chance to catch up with that practice time. He said they worked a lot against his zone defense, expects Montana to play a lot of zone, so hopefully the Huskies will be sharp against that. And I also mentioned, hey, if you win this one, Coach, this will be win number 150. He's such a humble guy, Tom and Francis. He just said that's a nice round, even number, isn't it? But it's a big number. Only 4. It would be the 4th coach here at UW to reach that milestone.
There's nothing wrong with that number. 150 in the win column is a lot better than 150 in the loss column, so I'm sure he'll take it. Like the Huskies, Montana coached by an alum, Wayne Tinkle. In his 4th season as head coach of the Grizzlies, 52-44. His Grizzlies come into this game with a record of 4-1 and got an impressive win against Oregon the last time out. As you take a look at the starting lineup for the Grizzlies, Jack McGillis, Brian Qualley, Ryan Stoddicker, Anthony Johnson, and Will Cherry rounding out that starting 5. The starting 5 for the Huskies, Tyrese Brashears moving into the starting lineup this evening. Matthew Bryan Ammoning also in that first 5, along with Pondexter Abdul Gaddy, the true freshman out of Bellarmine Prep in Tacoma, and of course Isaiah Thomas. So a new look for Coach Romar. What do you think's motivating this, Francis?
Well, you know, Abdul Gaddy came in with such high praise, and you know, maybe they just want to give him an opportunity to start to see how he responds to being a starter as opposed to how he's responded so far to coming off the bench. Because I can't see it being anything that Bonnell or Overton has done unless it's something that we're not aware of.
Yeah.
Benoit's been great on the defensive end, which is what they want from him. So I would think it'd just be a matter of seeing how he responds to being a starter.
And your impression so far of Abdul making the transition from high school ball to Division I basketball, how's he handled that?
Well, I think he's handled it well. I think he struggled a little bit on the defensive end, as most freshmen do. I mean, it'll be a good matchup tonight with he and Will Cherry. Will Cherry's making his 2nd start tonight for Montana. He also is a true freshman out of McClymonds High School in Oakland, which is a very storied program in itself out of the Bay Area. So I kind of like that matchup between the 2 true freshmen.
Abdul Gaddy, a young man who loves to distribute the basketball, and his teammates hope to benefit from that this evening. As you take a look at the series history between these programs, the Huskies lead 41-9. The teams have met twice since 1995, and last year the Huskies with a convincing victory, 75-53. So can the Grizz compete tonight, Francis, with a team that's rated 14th in the nation and playing some very good basketball?
Well, with so many guys from the state of Washington, which we talked about here early on, when I talked to Coach Tinkle about this earlier today, he said that his guys wanted to come back here and get a chance for redemption because they know last year they did not play well here, and they wanted a chance to come back here to see if they could do better. They're coming in off of a big win, off of another Pac-10 team with the win over Oregon on the 23rd. So this is a chance for them to kind of measure themselves against another Pac-10 opponent, but again, a team that right now is ranked 14th in the nation.
And I would think important for the Grizzlies early in this game to sort of weather the emotional storm of the crowd being involved and the Huskies back on the court and having this home court edge. Don't find yourself in an early double-digit hole.
Well, and they should be able to weather that. I mean, they've got Stoddicker, who's a senior, Johnson's a senior, McGillis, who actually played 2 years at Oregon State, who's a senior as well. So they have leadership here and guys that have been through this before. So if they come out and get overwhelmed by this, I would actually be a little bit surprised by that because they should be able to handle this because they've been here before.
That's Jack McGillis right there, number 44 for Montana. As we look forward to this matchup between the Pac-10 and the Big Sky Conference, as you get a look right there at Matthew Bryan Ammoning for the Huskies, 6'9" junior out of London, South Kent Prep School, as we get ready for the opening tip-off here tonight. Quincy Pondexter, 30 points, 15 rebounds in the Huskies' last game, a victory over San Jose State, and Quincy averaging 24 points and 12 rebounds per game, hitting 61% of his shots from the floor. So it's not like he's just taking a lot of shots and benefiting from that. Excellent shot selection and making the most of it.
He's done it in a variety of ways. He's gotten out in transition. He's always on the offensive glass, getting putbacks. His mid-range game has been superior here early on too. So again, great shot selection, but more than that, just great energy and great hustle has provided that leadership.
Matthew Bryan Ammoning and Brian Qualley to jump to get us underway, and it's Anthony Johnson with the basketball over to Will Cherry, and Cherry will bring it into front court in the first possession, guarded by Abdul Gaddy, the freshman out of Tacoma.
Cherry's making his second start for Montana. As we said, he's from Oakland, played at McClymonds High School, and you see right now a little bit of the freshman jitters in this environment as he turns it over.
Will Cherry, 6'1", 165 out of West Oakland, California, getting his second start of his young career as Abdul Gaddy comes into front court, the first offensive possession for the Huskies. And Montana in a bit of a zone defense, and the Huskies find the gap as Matthew Bryan Ammoning is fouled, and he'll head to the line to shoot two.
Well, you have to like that unselfish play. Good job by Gaddy to find Pondexter flashing there across the lane, but another good interior pass by Pondexter to drop it off to Bryan Ammoning there. And again, that unselfish play has the Huskies right now averaging 17 assists per game. Had a season high of 25 assists earlier this year, but they're really sharing the basketball, and it's good for Pondexter early, who's coming off of 30 and 15. He had a shot there, but he turned down a good shot for a better shot for a teammate.
Matthew Bryan Ammoning now 6 of 12 at the free throw line this season, and the Huskies showing some full court pressure after the made free throw as Will Cherry gets a pick from Qualley. Early 2-0 Husky lead here at Bank of America Arena. Second turnover by Cherry and a 2-on-1 break for the Dogs. Gaddy in, misses with the left hand. McGillis with the rebound, and he's fouled.
Well, the seniors are going to have to go to the freshman for Montana and get Cherry, get him settled down. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers. Now, you see now they're going to put the ball in Johnson's hand, which is, for the most part, he handles the ball for them. And we'll put it in his hands and see if he can get us into some offense.
The last foul on Isaiah Thomas. Johnson driving in, draws contact, but commits the offensive foul. So a third turnover already for the Montana Grizzlies.
Well, you see Johnson, he's so good off the dribble, and he sees that seam, so he's going to attack it as always. But good defensive rotation by the Huskies to get Brashears over, and he draws the charge.
3 possessions, 3 turnovers for the Grizzlies. Isaiah Thomas, Cherry out on him. It's faked by Thomas as he goes inside, hangs as he does so well, and goes off glass for the deuce.
Great use of the shot fake, great use of the hesitation dribble, gets into the lane off the glass. That's vintage Isaiah Thomas.
Player very much under control most of the time on the offensive end. Cherry being harassed by Gaddy. To McGillis. Fake. Kicks it out to Johnson. Up over Thomas. A little strong. And Pondexter with the rebound for the Huskies. Gaddy open on the wing. Wide open. Brashears inside. Lays it up in a nice strong move and a nice find by Gaddy.
That's two good finds by Gaddy here early that have led to baskets.
Early 6-0 Husky lead. Johnson trying to penetrate. Stodiker. McGillis guarded by Bryan Ammoning. Cherry pulls up and connects. Got to help the confidence a little bit after the early turnovers. Will Cherry and even the Grizzlies on the board.
And even though the Husky pressure that time was good, at least that time Montana was able to get into a little bit of a semblance of offense and create a lane for Cherry to penetrate.
Pondexter inside. Qualley guarding Matthew Bryan Ammoning, loses the ball, and a steal for the Grizzlies. 2-on-1 break. Johnson and Cherry. Cherry goes up, draws contact and the hoop, and he'll try to complete the three-point play.
And as you mentioned, confidence by Cherry to get that first basket to go down. They get out in transition. Nice job by Johnson to pass the ball ahead and get it to Cherry so he has a chance for the layup. You see Bryan Manning triple team there on the post. Didn't do a really good job of handling the basketball. And the pass ahead by Johnson for Cherry to get the chance for the three-point play.
Fell on Gaddy his first. Three-point play is a done deal for Cherry, and it's a 6-5 Husky lead. Cherry harassing Isaiah Thomas in backcourt. Defensively, Francis, what's Montana trying to get accomplished here?
Well, with the 2-3 zone, they just want to try to keep Washington in front of them. They know that man for man, they probably can't match up with them man defensively. So the zone is just giving them a chance to contain them.
Gaddy missing from long range off a very nice pass from Pondexter. And Montana with a chance here to take the lead, down 6-5. McGillis to Cherry. Qualley to McGillis for three, and it's down. Jack McGillis. And Montana on an 8-0 run to lead 8-6.
Well, they've settled down here on the offensive end and gotten some pretty good looks at the basket.
And Pondexter double teamed, lost his balance a bit. He travels, and the Grizzlies will get the ball off the turnover.
Quincy's doing a great job, Quincy Pondexter for Washington, doing a great job of getting in the lane and finding people, but he still has to turn and look at the basket also and continue to be aggressive as he's been in the first 5 games, or 4 games that Washington has played.
Number 31, Elston Turner in for the Huskies as Brashear takes a seat. McGillis, lob inside, Brian Qualley with the lay-in. And it's a 10-6 Montana lead, a 10-0 Grizzlies run.
And McGillis knocks down the 3. This time he makes a nice pass from that same spot on the floor. And now you see a little bit more aggressive defensive play by Montana. They've settled in.
Pondexter over Stodiker. Inside, Turner with the offensive rebound. Thomas for 3. Offline. Battle for the loose ball inside. Matthew Bryan Ammoning over Qualley, no good. Bryan Ammoning with the offensive rebound, triple teamed, and a travel call. Another travel call for the Huskies, dealing with a Montana team on a nice roll right now, a 10-0 run, and the Grizzlies in front of the Huskies early, 10-6. Welcome back as the Washington Huskies trail the Montana Grizzlies 10-6. The Huskies and Grizzlies also faced each other last year right here at Bank of America Arena with Matthew Bryan Ammoning enjoying a coming out party. NBA finished with a double-double, 10 points and 15 rebounds. Vinoy Overton also had a nice game with 10 points and 3 assists. And Isaiah Thomas got into the paint for 13 points as the Dogs won in a blowout. Montana coach Wayne Tinkle said earlier this week that many of the Washington area players on his team had a sour taste from that game, so they wanted to schedule the Dogs again this year. He planned to remind them that they wanted a rematch during his pregame talk. Early on, they trailed 6-zip, but now the Grizzlies up 10-6. But off the turnover, Vinoy Overton, who has checked into the ball game, ends that 10-0 run.
But Vinoy Overton comes right in and affects the game with his defense. And you go back to that game last year for a moment, Montana shot 28% from the floor and turned the ball over 19 times.
A 75-53 Husky win a year ago. Stodiker guarded by Turner. Inside, Qualley goes up strong, no good. Rebound, Pondexter. Turner looking inside. Overton, wide open Thomas. Tries to go into the paint. Up and under, a little hang time, but couldn't get the finish. And Cherry commits the double dribble, and that is his 3rd turnover, 5 against the Grizzlies.
And I think Coach Tinkle seen enough of that for right now. But it was a good experiment for them here early in the year in this environment to give the freshman that opportunity. He can go over there and think about it for a minute, and I'm sure we'll see him back in the game here pretty quick.
Heads to the bench with 5 points, replaced by number 22, Sean Stockton, nephew of Gonzaga and Utah Jazz great John Stockton. on out of Ferris High School in Spokane. Overton puts those two defenders out high, creating an open shot for Thomas, who misfires badly. Matthew Bryan Amony a little out of control, but still got it to go off glass. I thought he was going to spin himself right into a travel.
Well, they don't like to see him do it a whole lot, but Matthew Bryan Amony can actually handle the ball a little bit. I mean, he's got some ball handling skills, and maybe a little bit more than they wanted to see, but he was successful that time with the spin move and be able to kiss it off the glass.
And he tied the game at 10. McGillis inside to Qualley. Over the smaller Pondexter, he takes care of business. Brian Qualley, 6'11", 265 junior out of Williston, North Dakota.
And he was pretty highly touted coming out of high school and had to toughen him up a little bit, but he's really starting to respond. As you see, Elson Turner, who's really the Huskies' hired gun from the outside. I mean, he can really get it going when he's feeling confident with his shot.
Drops the 3 ball. The Huskies back in front, 13-12. Huskies had 2 of their first 3 shots, 3 of 10 since that time. In and out that time for the Grizzlies. Turner, Thomas, the trailer, Pondexter. Jump stop rejected by Qualley. Stodiker with the ball for the Grizzlies. Their opportunity for Montana to reclaim the lead. Stockton, penetration right into Matthew Bryan Amony, and really could have been called for the charge. Called for the travel instead.
When Montana's been able to get into their offense and really let things go through Johnson, they've been pretty successful with Johnson and McGillis for the most part handling the ball on the perimeter. Last year we saw Stockton come here and really settle Montana down on the offensive end, so they need him to come in and do the same thing again this year.
Some changes for the Huskies. 33 Brashears fouled on that play returns. Justin Holiday into the ball game now. Number 22, number 12, Clarence Trent getting into the contest for the first time. So other than Brashears, 4 reserves on the court right now for the Dogs.
You see that Washington depth showing itself early.
3-point miss by Turner. Loose ball inside Trent. The pass over to Holiday. He's fouled by Stockton, and Justin Holiday will head to the line to shoot a pair.
And that's the one area with Washington, until someone gets that aspect of the Washington game under control, they pound you on the offensive glass. And right now, no one has been able to match up with them on the glass, and they're really doing that to Montana right now.
Rebounding so far, 9-3 in favor of the Huskies. Holiday with the miss on the first free throw.
And with the group they have on the floor right now, Brashears is the biggest guy at 6'7". Trent, 6'6", 6'7" as well, and then the other 3 guards for Holiday, Turner, and Overton. But this is a small, quick lineup that can really get into you defensively.
Well, Montana has Qualley at 6'11", and now checked into the game, Derek Selvig, number 24, at 7 feet.
All right, so they're nice matchup here, trying to counter the size with the quickness. Little chess match going on here between the 2 coaches.
Manoy Overton with the foul, his first. 3rd team foul on the Huskies. Montana with 4 team fouls. Qualley checking out for the first time. And checking in, Grayson Young for Montana, number 2. So they go a little bit smaller on that switch. McGillis losing the ball as he goes inside and gets it back. Plenty of time on the shot clock as Johnson works baseline, fades, and connects.
Well, that's a tough shot, but it's a good shot. You know, we're looking at a guy that averages 22 points a game, so he can fill it up.
First points for Johnson. Holiday inside, a little strong. Scramble for the ball. Jump ball, held ball, and the alternating possession will keep the ball in Washington's possession. 11:40 left in the first half. The Huskies leading the Grizzlies. Actually, we are tied at 14. When we come back, we'll talk some football with Husky coach Steve Sarkisian.
Welcome back to Bank of America Arena. Husky basketball here on FSN. We got a tie ball game right now early at 14 apiece. We talk a lot about the Husky defense on the basketball court, but how about the Husky defense on the football field last night, shutting out the Cougars in the Apple Cup, making Steve Sarkisian a winner in his first Apple Cup as head coach here of the Dogs. You join us now, Sark. We appreciate this, but before we talk football, you're a big basketball guy. It's nice to see you here.
I love hoops, and I love getting out, seeing these guys play. Lorenzo does a great job, and hopefully we can get to the status these guys are playing at.
Well, you guys certainly played well last night, obviously. Did it look as good today as it did last night?
It looked great. Our defense really played well. They were physical. They got after the quarterback. They stopped the run. It was an impressive performance by them.
Good defense. Jake Locker and Polk did great on offense. Kind of a dominant team win for you guys. And nice to get this win, not just because it was the Apple Cup.
It was much needed. We've been fighting and scratching and clawing. We hadn't gotten a win in a long time. And to get back to Husky Stadium, the electricity in the air, our fans, it was a great win altogether, on all three phases, offense, defense. Our special teams was good, and I thought we played very physical.
What does it do for you guys this week as you guys get ready for Cal?
Well, we just want to close out strong, and we get to come back to Husky Stadium for one more against a very good Cal team, and hopefully it's something we can build on for the future.
Not a lot of breaks in the Pac-10. We appreciate the time here. Enjoy the game and some time with your family. Thanks for the visit.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right, Steve Sarkisian and his Huskies, of course, getting ready, Tom, for Cal on Saturday game you can see on FSN at 3 o'clock.
All right, Brad. Thanks to you and the coach. Recap what you missed. A foul on Sean Stockton, a foul on Clarence Trent, a miss by Rayson Young for the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies with possession as Washington now with 4 turnovers, Montana with 6. 10:50 left in this opening half from Bank of America Arena. Tied at 14. McGillis, Stockton, Anthony Johnson for 3. Misfiring, and that ball rolled off the back of Derek Selvig, and it'll be Husky basketball. Woods Trent, number 12, a young man, a tremendous athletic talent. Just got to get the rest of the game to catch up with the body and the skill, but he has a bright future as well. Freshman out of Tacoma.
Yeah, he does, and we saw him in the previous game against San Jose State really do a nice job on the interior with some of the passes that he made. So his awareness and his understanding of how to play, and again, not be selfish, just getting to the floor of the game has been pretty impressive here early.
He heads to the bench. Holiday with the basketball. Pondexter, high post for the Huskies. Mr. Holiday called for the ball, had a little bit of room in the paint. Quincy double team, dumps it off. Benoit, nice pass inside to Brashears, who draws contact, and he'll head to the line. Very nice ball movement that time by the Huskies.
Once again, and you see Quincy Pondexter when he got the ball here, right there in the short corner. The defense paid a lot of attention to him, but again, he finds a cutting teammate. And I think with Johnson and Pondexter, I think right now are both dealing with the same thing. The word is out on the success that they've had. They're at the top of everyone's scouting reports right now. So you see the attention that Washington is paying to Johnson on the defensive end. You see the attention that Montana is paying to Pondexter because the word is out about these guys. So now you have to make that adjustment, whether it's getting more teammates involved or getting your scoring from other areas.
Overton and Turner checking out for the Huskies as Isaiah Thomas and Abdul Gaddy return. Changes for the Grizzlies as well. We'll set their lineup after the free throw by Brashears as Brian Qualley gets the rebound out to Anthony Johnson. Vasi Bani getting his first action, number 33, into the lineup, along with that man right there, Rayson Young, is firing from 3 land, and inside going glass is Qualley. He's got some nice offensive skills down low, Francis.
He's having a great season for these guys. This guy's shooting 78% from the field. He's 61% from the free throw line, but they want a little improvement there, but he's blocked 10 shots, and they're really impressed with his play early.
Holiday had that shot contested. Grizzlies with a 2-point lead, looking to build on it. Michael Taylor for 3. In and out, and the rebound by Holiday. The outlet to Thomas. Inside Isaiah, no, the follow couldn't quite go down as Holiday came in, just couldn't get that ball over the iron.
Taylor, who missed that shot earlier, kid out of Brewster, led his team to the high school championship up there. His father with his coach. Had a nice game with 12 points coming off the bench against Oregon last week.
They put some pretty good talent out of that Brewster High School program, haven't they, over the years?
They have.
Johnson. Too strong. Qualley with the offensive rebound.
And Qualley right now is really asserting himself on both ends of the court on the glass, really giving Washington a taste of their own medicine.
That's Taylor. Qualley showing a little bit of range.
Wow. Great ball movement. He's playing with a lot of confidence right now. And at that size, Washington really has no one physically to match up with him at 6'11" and about 270.
Averaging just under 12 points per game, just under 8 rebounds per contest is Brian Qualley. Huskies have connected on just 3 of their last 16 shots, making 3 of 17. As Qualley gets the board, and the Grizzlies up by 4 with the basketball. And obviously, the longer they hang around, the more the collective confidence grows. Tempo-wise, it looks like they're kind of getting this game at the pace where they would like it, Francis.
Well, without question, I mean, on the defensive end, Washington is really struggling against the zone. I mean, they're getting some looks from the outside, but they're not really able to connect right now. But you got to give the Grizzlies credit. And as we go to break, it's Grizzlies 18, Huskies 14.
Welcome back to Bank of America Arena. The Montana Grizzlies with an 18-14 lead over the Washington Huskies. Just inside 8 minutes left in the half. And Francis, Brian Qualley has really put his talents on display in this game.
Well, he's coming off of 2 consecutive double-doubles. He had 12 and 12 in their loss to Denver. He had 15 and 10 in their win over Oregon. And tonight, we've seen him do a variety of things and really played well. 8 points and 6 rebounds here early in the first half, and has really done a nice job of controlling the middle and helping Montana get this game back under control, and right now have a 4-point lead.
4 of 5 on the floor as Qualley gets a breather right now. And with the Huskies now in the bonus, the last foul committed by the Grizzlies there is 7th. Holiday earning the 2nd. Justin on the season averaging 4.5 points per contest. As Turner returns and Holiday heads to the Husky bench. Number 40, Matthias Ward, has checked in for Montana to see his first action. Joined by Johnson, Stodiker, Vasi Bani, and Michael Taylor. Johnson, nice overplay by Turner. Stodiker had to chase it down in backcourt. 12 seconds on the shot clock for Montana. Double team out front. Inside. Nice overplay that time by Pondexter to come up with the steal. In the corner. He's down by 2, 18-16. Abdul Gadi at the point for the Huskies. Inside Pondexter has yet to find the hoop tonight. Scoreless, coming in averaging 24 points per game. And Turner fouled out on the perimeter by Vasi Bani, a 6'3" senior out of the Ivory Coast, by way of Salt Lake Community College.
Well, the Huskies with their depth have not been able to get this game going in transition the way they'd like to, and you have to give a lot of that credit to Montana. But they've really struggled against the zone. I mean, the ball movement has been okay, but when they've gotten the ball in the middle, we saw Pondexter early make a couple of nice passes to get some teammates some good looks. But on the perimeter against the zone, they're looking for penetration. It really hasn't been there, and Montana's doing a nice job of doing exactly what they wanted to do, which was keep Washington in front of them. Now if they can just keep them off the glass, they're going to continue to be successful.
Turner missing the front end of the 1-and-1. High post. Bani on Pondexter. It's Ryan Stodiker. Matthias Ward nearly lost it. Shot clock at 8. Stodiker double teamed in the corner. Shot clock at 3. A runner offline, did not draw iron, but Pondexter with a rebound as Bani missed.
Another good defensive sequence for Washington.
Gaddy's pass deflected out of bounds by Taylor. Huskies have made no shots over the last 7 minutes. 0 for 8 from the floor. Gaddy inside. Matthew Bryan Ammoning. Turner, the open 3. Offline, and the rebound by Stodiker for Montana. Very quiet here in Hecate. Very quiet.
And Washington played so well in the 3-day tournament and in the game against San Jose State, but it looks like right now the 9-day layoff is really affecting them.
Johnson no good. Tip by Banny no good. Thomas in transition trying to get that tempo going for the Huskies, comes up short. And Banny with the rebound for the Grizzlies. Low scoring game so far as Wayne Tinkle takes a timeout. 18-16 Montana with just 5:46 left in this opening half. So Wayne Tinkle had to lay things out in terms of where the score would be, and Temple, I think he'd be satisfied with what he has right now. Don't miss a big Northwest battle on the hardwood this Wednesday as Klay Thompson and the Washington State Cougars travel to Spokane for a rivalry matchup with Matt Bolden and Gonzaga. Tip-off at 6 o'clock Wednesday night on FSN and FSN HD. Both of those teams playing very good. Maui Invitational won by Gonzaga. Great Alaska Shootout won by the Cougars. Klay Thompson last night 43 against San Diego. That one's worth watching.
Oh, without question. I'm looking forward to watching that game later on this week. But man, Thompson with the 43.
You know, that's what the Cougars averaged collectively as a team under the Bennett's, right?
Yeah.
You know, he's got to be loving the Ken Bone approach. Not that he had issues with Bennett. The success there, you cannot argue with it. But from a Klay Thompson standpoint and the rest of those kids, they got to be loving the tempo they're going at.
Yeah, guys in the Northwest doing it big. Charles Garcia from Seattle U had 41 against Wofford this weekend. So it's good basketball being played in the Northwest right now.
Some terrific talent. McGillis over Pondexter. Tough shot. Good defense by Quincy. Montana's lead now at 4. Scott Suggs is checked in. He misfires from 3-point range. And it's Stodiker, actually Taylor, into front court to McGillis. And good defense that time by Isaiah Thomas. He saw McGillis coming from about a mile away and just waited for him to draw the foul.
You see them advance the ball up the court. And McGillis, who's been aggressive the entire night, wants to go all the way to the basket, but a nice job by Thomas to slide in and get the charge. But it was a nice article in the Seattle Times by Percy Allen talking about McGillis was going to walk on at Washington. He was a late bloomer. Hell's Gate High School over in Montana led them to a state championship. He was going to walk on at Washington. Oregon State, Washington State offered him scholarships late. He chose Oregon State, but decided to transfer back to back home and go to Montana. But he's another kid that's kind of playing with something to prove.
Ryan Ammoning following up the Thomas miss. We talk about the depth of this Washington basketball team. Montana's already used 11 players. So they're showing a little bit of depth as well.
Well, we talked that this could be a good matchup with a team that's coming in on a high, having beat Oregon, and Washington was playing well also, and both of these teams are really going at it.
Gillis in and out. Ward inside, goes to the left hand and lays it in. Matthias Ward, a 6'7" freshman out of Gig Harbor High School. Certainly he's got some friends and family on hand tonight cheering him and the Grizzlies on. 4-point Montana lead. Richie Pondexter still scoreless. Suggs, no good. Rebound by Stodiker.
Yeah, Washington offensively right now, they're really struggling. I mean, this game here defensively, Washington has done some good things in terms of pressuring the basketball and really making it tough for Montana to score. But the Montana zone on the defensive end has made things tough for Washington as well.
Johnson in the double team, throwing it away. Had a good idea to try to get it to Ward, but just could not execute. Matthias Ward taking care of some business on the glass. The offensive rebound pays off for the Grizzlies. Montana with a 4-point lead over the 14th rated Huskies, 22-18, 3:37 left in the first half. Francis, let's talk a little defense for the Dogs.
Well, defensively for Washington, this is the way they would really like to play. You see them get that ball trapped in the corner. He gets it out of the corner. You see the rotation by Thomas, but that makes it a real difficult shot against the shot clock for Johnson. So if Washington can get Montana playing that way, that's what they'd really like to do. But for the most part, Montana's been able to stay out of those situations. Neither team is shooting well. As Montana's 10 for 23, Washington 6 for 27. So right now, the defensive have just been a lot better than the offenses.
I'll tell you what, this Husky team, its low point total in a half so far this season is Brashears is unable to convert inside off the nice pass from Thomas, and then off of Tyrese, it'll be Montana basketball. 34 points. That's their lowest point total in a half this season, and it would seem it would be difficult for them to get to that with just 18 right now, with just over 3 minutes left in these opening 20 minutes at Bank of America.
But this is a great situation for Washington to be in for the future, because for the most part, this is the way that people are going to try to make them play. They're not going to let them run up and down and just kind of freelance the way that they like to and just let the game be free-flowing. So this is an opportunity for Washington to understand that we're going to have to, some nights it's not, the shots are not going to be falling. We're not going to be able to just get out in transition, and it might have to be won on the defensive end.
Stodiker, McGillis out high, driving on Pondexter. Good defense by Quincy. Rebound by Brashears. Thomas on the push. The drive, the hang, no good, and the rebound inside. McGillis going down, last touched, I believe, by Suggs, and it will be Montana basketball. It's just a frustrated Husky basketball team right now collectively.
Well, you see Thomas here. He finds that lane, and this is a shot that we've watched him make over and over again, but tonight it's not falling for him. But more impressive was McGillis coming in and going real aggressive after that rebound. That's what it's going to take.
Johnson double teamed, finds the open man from the corner. The three ball, nothing but net for Michael Taylor. Junior out of Brewster, Washington, transfer from Eastern Washington, and Montana with its largest lead now at 7, 25-18.
And if Washington wants to double team, Montana's got two deadly outside shooters out there in Stodiker and Taylor.
Suggs answers with a three ball for the Huskies.
And that's the shot they need. Is now they're 2 for 9 from behind the arc. But again, on the offensive end for Montana, if Washington wants to double team off of a couple guys, they have to be careful, because Taylor and Stodiker are both excellent outside shooters.
And a foul on Vinoy Overton, and Lorenzo Romar flies out of his seat on the Husky bench. Did not agree. Second personal on Vinoy Overton, 6th team foul against the Huskies.
You don't see Lorenzo get that animated very often, and it was a play right in front of the Husky bench. But they thought it was a trip, but the officials called it a foul.
Stodiker, boy, just right out of the flow of the offense, Ryan Stodiker puts Montana up by 6 at 27-21.
And if Montana has Stodiker and Taylor making outside shots, and then Qualley coming back in the game with the work that he's done on the interior, and we already know that Johnson is their guy to handle the ball, that's the Montana game.
High post Pondexter. Taylor knocked the ball away briefly. Overton for 3. Suggs for 3. Overton for 3 as the Huskies try to find their range from beyond the arc, cutting that Montana lead to 3 points at 27-24 as we hit 1 minute left in the half, and Johnson for the deuce.
Here we
Anthony
go.
Johnson.
Here we go.
Little rhythm finally coming to this game.
Now it's heating up a little bit. Let's go. Here we go.
Just in time for halftime, right?
Trying to get to 34.
29-24. Montana with a 5-point advantage. Overton. Pondexter still scoreless. Shot clock at 15. Long three by Turner. Back rims it. Overton deflecting the ball away from Taylor, and the Huskies can play for the final shot.
Guards have to be aggressive rebounders as well. You have to play like there's someone behind you. Didn't go after that rebound aggressively. Just went after it kind of soft.
And you can't do that with Vinoy Overton on the court, because odds are he's coming your direction. Lorenzo Romar taking a timeout with 19.3 seconds left in this opening half. 29-24, Montana with the lead. So let's take a look at Vinoy Overton finding his range from beyond the arc.
Well, that's a shot that Overton is probably going to be able to get all season long. You're going to have to pick your poison offensively, and he hasn't shown the real propensity to be a good outside shooter, so he's probably going to be the guy that they'll leave open to take that shot. but it's a shot he's capable of making. We saw him do it in high school, and if he's confidently shooting the basketball, again, another weapon.
And Benoit coming up with that steal. He entered the game with 7 steals, tops on this Husky roster, and it will give Washington the potential to have the final possession here in the half. So what do we look for? Do we look for the Dogs to go inside? They've hit a couple of 3 balls. Ideally, what do they play for here?
Well, again, against the zone, they just want to have good ball movement, get a shot up that gives them a chance to get an offensive rebound as well. With the group they have on the floor right now, I can see them maybe try to run something to get Turner a look or something for Pondexter along the baseline.
Overton cut off by Ward. Fading 3 ball by Benoit Overton off the back rim, and Montana will head to the locker room with a 5-point lead over the 14th rated team in the country, the Washington Huskies, and certainly a defensive performance that the Grizzlies have to feel good about, limiting the Huskies to a low and a half this year of just 24 points, and they have held Quincy Pondexter, one of the top scorers in the nation, scoreless over the opening 20 minutes. Halftime coverage coming your way from Bank of America Arena, where Montana leads Washington 29-24. Welcome back to Bank of America Arena in Seattle, where the 14th rated Washington Huskies trail the Montana Grizzlies by a score of 29-24. Along with Francis Williams, I'm Tom Glasgow. As we take a look at the first half statistics, and right at the top it jumps out at you. Montana hitting 48% from the floor. The Huskies just 24%, and rebounding dead even at 19 apiece. Turnovers 9 for Montana, 4 for the Huskies. So those are the early numbers. Make that that is 9 turnovers for Montana. And here's what jumps out at you as well: a power outage out of the Huskies' top 2 scorers. Quincy Pondexter and Isaiah Thomas average a combined 46.5 points per game so far in this contest. You see it there, 2. Pondexter 0 for 4 from the floor. Thomas just 1 for 8. And obviously something that Lorenzo Romar would like to see turned around to get Quincy and Isaiah more involved in that offensive flow.
Well, Thomas got his looks, but he wasn't able to get him to drop. Quincy, they're paying a lot of attention to him defensively, so he hasn't been able to get very many good looks at the basket. But I think more importantly, it's just that zone defense that Montana threw at them, where they just really packed it in and made it tough for them to score. Was real effective in the first half.
Huskies making a change from their starting lineup to open the game as Jack McGillis misses for Montana. It's Benoit Overton in. Tyrese Brashears, who started the game, starts the second half on the bench. So a 3-guard offense right now for Lorenzo Romar. And what is he hoping to accomplish with that group?
Well, I think defensively, he wants to maybe try to get a little bit more defensive pressure with the 3 guards, and maybe get a little bit better ball movement with Gaddy at the point. But he made the freshman's mistake, like Cherry did in the first half, of throwing the basketball away.
And Thomas with a turnover. And that first turnover this half by the Huskies converted into 2 points by Anthony Johnson, the leading scorer for the Grizzlies, who came into the contest averaging 22 points per game. He is now at 6 points and with the basketball. And
for Johnson to get a basket early, that's going to be good for his confidence, and he's capable of taking this basketball game over on the offensive end.
And Montana is back with the same 5 that started the ball game. That's Qualley inside, working on Matthew Bryan Ammoning, going up strong but coming up short on the shot. Battles for his own rebound, and a travel against Qualley. Joined on the court by Johnson, Cherry, McGillis, and Stoddicker for Montana.
Well, Qualley's battling in there. He's really battling and playing hard, and I know that's what Coach Tinkle wants. That wasn't a bad look for him, just wasn't quite able to corral that offensive rebound, or that would have put him in a position to, once again do like he did in the first half, of really doing a nice job on the offensive glass for Montana.
Qualley's hit 4 of 6 shots coming off of that miss. Ended the game hitting 78% from the floor, 25 of 32. Overton inside, off balance, and the rebound by Qualley. Brian Qualley doing a nice job on the boards, now with 7. And the 3 ball by Stoddicker. Montana with its largest lead of 10 points at 34-24. Lorenzo Romar takes a needed timeout.
Can't leave him. Plain and simple, you can't leave Stoddicker, and you cannot leave Taylor. Montana comes out with a big run here to start the second half, but Stoddicker deadly from the outside, and that three gives Montana a 10-point cushion.
Isaiah Thomas and the Huskies in some trouble early in the second half, trailing Montana by 10. Here's our fan polls question for you. Like your response. Do you think the Huskies will come back and win this game? Text A for yes, B for no to 95323. That's 95323. Yes, you think the Huskies will come back and win. No, you think Montana will hold on and pull off the upset of the nation's 14th rated team. Overton, Thomas, Gaddy as Thomas goes inside, missing. Qualley with another rebound.
And another block shot by Qualley.
A good job in the paint here tonight. Will Cherry with the ball. Guarded by Thomas. Picked by Qualley. Cherry inside. Had some turnover issues early in the game. And Overton may have gotten a leg out and tripped up McGillis. Here's our early results on the fan polls. The Husky faithful, 70 now 69% strong, believing the Dogs will come back and take care of the Grizzlies. Vanoy Overton now with 3 personal fouls. He checks out. Thomas checking out as well. Elston Turner and Scott Suggs in for Washington. Now a little bit bigger lineup for the Huskies.
Well, offensively, we saw Washington look for penetration with Thomas. Defensively, they were going to double team Cherry to try to get him in a situation where maybe he'll turn the basketball over. But right now, with the shooters they have on the floor and playing Johnson off the ball, offensively, I think Montana's feeling pretty comfortable right now.
Johnson got Suggs off his feet, goes inside to Qualley. Off balance, had to throw it up and lost the ball out of bounds. By the way, the last time Washington trailed by 10 or more points in a game was the second round of last year's NCAA tournament when they trailed Purdue by 11 at the half. So for this group collectively, it is some uncharted territory that they're dealing with. Pondexter looking for his first 2 and finds the bucket.
He had that look in the first half, but I thought he was being a little bit too unselfish with some of the passes that he made. But they're going to need him to knock that shot down, and that's going to loosen things up for some of those guys on the perimeter.
Gaddy with the defense on Will Cherry. More energy now in Peckett after that bucket by Pondexter. Grizzlies up by 8 as Anthony Johnson goes to work. Pull up 2.
Yeah, he can do that.
Anthony Johnson.
And I like what they're doing. Put the ball in Cherry's hand. As long as he doesn't turn it over, let's get a little bit deeper in the shot clock. Make them play defense, get the ball into our guy's hand, and let him make a play.
And you were telling me before the game, Anthony Johnson at Stadium High School was considered a nice high school player, but not a D1 type of basketball player. It's Pondexter coming from behind, knocking that ball out of bounds.
Mike Tacoma contacts Carl Howell at Tacoma Community College, Chris Spivey, who runs an AAU program down there. Guys that really follow Tacoma basketball very closely, said that in high school he was just an average player. He was a good player, but just an average player. But he went to Yakima Valley Community College and really started to flourish over there. And at Montana has done a great job of just continuing to get better and better. And you can see him playing with a lot of confidence. He's married, and so he's a little bit more mature maybe than some other guys. But offensively, particularly off the dribble, he can get it done.
Well, he's averaging 22 points per game. Wayne Tinkle may want to encourage the rest of his Grizzlies to head down the aisle if that's part of the payoff. Johnson, by the way, dating back to the first half, has scored 6 of the last 9 Montana points. Looking for some more right here on the 3-ball. A little strong. McGillis over the back. Connecting on Matthew Bryan Ammoning and committing the foul. That's McGillis's 3rd personal.
And that's a good call by the officials. But Montana being aggressive, particularly McGillis, going to the offensive glass. You gotta like that. Johnson here off the dribble, as we can say. Dribble going to his left, pull up, knocks it down. Still a 10-point lead for Montana.
14th rated Washington Huskies, a double-digit deficit to the Montana Grizzlies, 36-26. Lorenzo Romar in search of his 150th win at the UW, and not happy with how the guys in the striped shirts are treating his ball club here tonight. I think he also has some issues with his basketball team. Let's take a look at our U.S. Marines leaders of the game, and Lorenzo Romar certainly an outstanding leader of these young men here at the UW.
Well, he right now is trying to find a button to push to get his guys charged up. And I think what he was concerned about is that he feels like on the offensive end, what I said was Montana kind of giving them some of their own medicine on the glass. He really feels like they're allowing them to come over their backs and being a little bit overly aggressive, I think, as it relates to the rebounding.
So a little way to go to catch Heck Edmondson as far as the Huskies' all-time career leader in wins. This building, Heck Ed, named after the all-time winningest coach in UW history. Another miss on the offensive end for the Dogs. Jack McGillis trying to find a little help out on the court, and Abdul Gatti doing a nice job overplaying defense on Will Cherry.
McGillis can't pick his dribble up there. I mean, he can take it there and see if he has something, but he needs to back it out so that the spacing is still good and then try to find a teammate, but he can't pick it up right there.
Interesting, Montana with a 25-21 rebounding edge so far in this game. Nice fake by McGillis to create the shot, but couldn't get it to drop. And Pondexter with the rebound. The Huskies have not been out-rebounded in any game this season. They did have a 29-29 rebounding total in their win over Wright State. And as you saw, the struggles continue on the offensive end. Huskies averaging 47% field goal shooting coming in, 9 of 38 now from the floor.
So you see Washington switching everything on the perimeter. Now they get a chance to double team, try to take the ball out of Johnson's hands, but now they got the ball in the hands of a shooter in Stoddicker.
Fires in. Little guy in the court for Montana with the offensive rebound and puts it in, and Will Cherry. Largest lead of the game for the Grizz, now up by 12 at 38-26.
And another risk you run when you're trying to double team all over the court is that you're not always in rebounding position.
Suggs misfiring from three-point range. Gatti no good. Qualley can't get it. Offensive rebound by Turner, fouled on the putback, and he'll head to the line for 2.
And the thing with Washington offensively, it's not that they're taking bad shots. They're getting some good looks at the basket. Tonight, those shots are just not falling.
3 team fouls on the Grizzlies.
Elston Turner 0 for 1 at the line tonight. 3 team fouls on the Grizzlies, 2 on the Huskies.
One more.
And Montana so far outscoring the Huskies 9-3 here in the second half as Turner gets the first of the 2 free throws. Matthew Bryan Ammoning out, Pondexter out, Gatti out. Darnell Gant making his first appearance tonight. He has been a staple in that Husky starting lineup last season and through the first 4 games this season.
Well, I think this is going to be an important 2-minute stretch for Montana as you see them sub in 3 guys that it's going to be real important for them to sustain things. So these next couple of minutes here are going to be real important for Montana to see if they can maintain this cushion.
Brashears and Thomas also back for the Huskies, and Vasi Bani called for the offensive foul and the illegal pick against Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, and he didn't need that. I mean, Cherry wasn't in any trouble at all. He was going to just bring the ball up the court, get him into some offense. So that's a mental error there. They didn't need that from Bani.
Bani just checking in along with Michael Taylor and Derek Selvig. Inside to Brashears. Over Selvig coming up short. Tip is good though, as Brashears did not give up inside.
Good job of staying with it. And Selvig has to come in, as we said, important 2-minute stretch. Selvig's got to come in and be physical and have a presence the same way Qualley did.
Huskies down by 9, 38-29, 13-35 left in the second half. Stoddicker. Cherry for 3. Strong off the back rim, and Suggs with the ball for the Huskies. Suggs trying to get the tempo up a little bit. Thomas inside, out of control. No look, keeping it inbound. Suggs missing inside. Gant fouled, and he'll head to the line as he was hacked by Stoddicker.
Well, if you look at the group Washington has on the floor right now, minus Thomas, there's a lot of length out there. Gant making his first appearance. We don't know why he had to sit the first half. but he's making his first appearance. But this group right here, as with most of the Washington rotation, these guys are long, they're lean, they're an athletic group, and right now Brashears is making his presence felt on the boards, and I think that's giving Gant some opportunities to get in and make some things happen on the offensive glass as well.
Darnell Gant now 5 for 5 at the line this season, the 6'8" sophomore out of Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles. Averaging 3 points, 2.3 rebounds per game. And he connects on both. Huskies 8 for 13 at the line. How about Montana? Just one free throw attempt in this game, but a 7-point lead.
And that's 4-0 Washington since those substitutions were made for Montana. It's important because you got Johnson on the bench over there, and he's their guy, along with Qualley and McGillis.
And you can see the Huskies picking up the defensive intensity. Cherry inside. And an offensive foul on Will Cherry. Wayne Tinkle stomping up and down that Montana sideline. Did not like that call. Let's get another look at it.
And you like the freshman being aggressive, but this is a situation where you put it into the hands of the official, and that time he called it a charge, and that's another turnover on Cherry. But you don't want to take away his aggressiveness because he's looking at the basket and trying to, again, make things happen.
Did a nice job splitting the defenders.
He did.
To get into the paint. Montana with 12 turnovers, the Huskies with just 6. 38-31 Montana. Thomas looking inside to Brashears. Decides to pass up on that. He goes one-on-one. Draws contact, no foul, but he gets the hoop. He wanted the call, and showing the frustration of not getting the whistle.
He gets one to go, and now since the substitutions, it's 7-0 Washington since those subs.
And Wayne Tinkle takes a timeout and gives a nasty look to one of the officials and gives an earful to another as his team has seen its 12-point lead cut now to just 5 points at 38-33. Well, this is what Isaiah Thomas does so well.
And they really wanted to get the ball inside, but good job by Montana to collapse. But Thomas is always going to be aggressive. See the way he's able to split those defenders and even absorb some contact there and getting up off the glass. And he was getting those same looks earlier, just couldn't get those shots to fall.
That was one tough shot he got to drop that time, though. And he's good at making the tough ones, but look, give the little guy credit. He is strong. He is physical in how he plays the game, and he expects that contact when he goes inside.
He does, and he's crafty, being left-handed, and he has a great ability to use the glass. And you've got to be able to do that, particularly at his size, when you get in there amongst the trees, being able to use the angles and get the ball off the glass effectively. That helps.
4 points for Thomas. Averages 22.5. Pondexter with just 2 tonight. Of course, he leads the team with a 24-point average. Stodiker guarded by Suggs. And Brashears is going to get called for the hold on Selvig.
And you like the fact that coming out of the timeout, Montana wants to continue to try to get the basketball inside. And Selvig to try to maybe give him a little confidence in there for Qualley. Qualley's been great. He's got to establish himself as being a presence on the court as well.
First personal foul on Tyrese Brashears. Third team foul on the Huskies. Montana with 6 team fouls. Michael Taylor committing the offensive foul. That's his first. Claris Trent returning for the Huskies. And Brashears takes a seat on the Husky bench. Montana in the zone defensively, where they've been all night. Inside Trent. Nassi Banny reaching in and committing the foul. That'll be the 7th team foul, 3rd on Banny, and it'll send Trent to the line. Quincy Pondexter with just those 2 points tonight. His Huskies are down by 5. Montana leading, number 14 Washington, 38-33, 11:52 left to play in the second half. Let's take a look at our Michelin game summary. Quincy Pondexter, Isaiah Thomas having a rough go of it from the floor. 6 combined points on 3 of 16 shooting. And you look at the team percentages, Montana 44%, the Huskies just 24%. Only the most adversity they have dealt with offensively through their now this is their 5th game this season. Trent to the line. First made free throw as a Husky for Clarence Trent. Came in 0 for 2. 6'5", 225 freshman.
Along with that, Washington only has 2 fast break points in this game. But on the bright side, they've got 14 points off the bench compared to only 2 for Montana.
And have cut the Grizzlies' lead to just 3 at 38-35. Anthony Johnson. Looking for a pick from Qualley. Backdoor, nice play inside. Qualley, though, dropping the ball. Selvig, plenty of time on the shot clock. Selvig for 3 and hits it. The big man, the 7-footer, showing some range. The sophomore out of Glenvine, Montana, and inside. Elston Turner getting it done for the Dogs.
Well, Selvig knocking down that 3. That's a huge shot for Montana, particularly at that point in the game where they really needed a basket.
Anthony Johnson guarded by Thomas. A couple of Tacoma kids. Curtis High School and Stadium High School. Selvig behind the back. Big man showing a little bit of his game. Johnson no good, and Trent's going to get called for the push on Selvig.
It's a good call. It's a good call. Good one-on-one matchup there out front with Johnson and Thomas. And Selvig and Qualley at 6'11" and 7 feet, really causing some problems on the interior for Washington.
Second personal on Trent. 4th team foul. Do you think the Huskies will come back and win this game? Yes, 61%. No, 39%. You can continue to vote at 95323. Stoddicker fading away. A little strong, and inside the rebound by Turner. The outlet to Thomas. The Huskies on the move. The lob inside. Like it may have hit off the rim, and Johnson picks up the loose ball. He's working 1-on-3.
It's a good look for Stoddicker. It's a good look for him.
44-37, Montana. Ryan Stoddicker now with 8 points.
Tough luck for Washington. I mean, they had a jailbreak, fast break, and mishandled the basketball, and it turns into a 3 on the other end for Montana.
Thomas with the penetration and the kick to Turner for 3. Elston Turner.
That's good ball movement by Washington, a good find by Thomas. We talked earlier, Turner is their hired gun from the outside. When he gets going, he can knock him down from anywhere.
2 for 6 from 3-point range. Selvig looking for another 3. He comes up short. Qualley called for the fouls. He battled a couple of Huskies for that rebound. Turner up to 9 points, by the way, after that 3 ball. Isaiah Thomas is going to head to the line. This is a huge call against the Grizzlies as Qualley gets tagged for his 4th personal foul. So the big man's going to head to the bench in favor of Matthias Ward. That is the 9th team foul against Montana. So the Huskies on the verge of getting into the double bonus. And in a tight game with 10 minutes left to play, that could be decisive.
Yeah, free throw shooting, will become a factor in this game. But I think something else we need to point out is that we talked earlier about Washington wasn't taking bad shots. The shots just weren't falling, and now they seem to be finding their rhythm, and they're getting some shots to fall, and they just continued to play, kept looking at the basket, didn't lose their aggressiveness, and Turner and Suggs and some of the guys that have come off the bench have just continued to look at the basket and do a good job.
So the referees apparently with a discussion regarding the last foul. Let's take a look at it. Selvig with a 3-point attempt. That's Qualley battling with Thomas. Now, I would be surprised if they were trying to figure out actually who the foul was against well after the fact, unless they just wanted to confirm that it was in fact against Brian Qualley, but he was the only Grizzly in the area.
Yeah, just to see who the shooter is going to be, apparently.
Looking for the shooter, possibly. So, and it was clearly Isaiah Thomas who steps to the line. Clarence Trent checking out for the Huskies. The Washington lineup: Pondexter, Matthew Bryan Ammoning, Thomas at the line, Turner and Overton. And Thomas earns the second.
much improved from the foul line this year with Thomas, right around 82%.
And Washington as a team, 7 percentage points better than they were a year ago, and they connected on 70%. That has been an Achilles heel for this basketball team over the last few years. Brian Ammoning inside with the steal, and the foul against Taylor, and Matthew Brian Ammoning will head to the stripe. So Montana really starting to have some struggles against this Husky team.
And that's twice that Taylor has had the basketball in his hands, once in the first half and again here in the second half, where he's had the basketball in his hands and he wasn't strong with it. You cannot get rebounds and not corral them and be aggressive with how you corral the basketball and value it. And that's 2 times in this game that he's done that.
That was the 10th team foul, so the double bonus from here on out for the Huskies, who, by the way, scored 26 points in the first 26 minutes of play. Since that time, 17 points over the next 4 minutes. So they have picked it up substantially on the offensive end. And 2 misses at the stripe for Matthew Brian Ammoning, and Derek Selvig falls down with the basketball and is called for the travel.
Wow, and just tough luck there for Selvig, as Washington, the minute we give him credit, they missed 2 from the foul line, and he just goes down on his own. I don't know that that necessarily was a travel. He didn't try to get up or anything, but the call was made.
15 turnovers for Montana, 7 for the Huskies. Brian Ammoning inside, losing the ball, and Stoddicker comes up with it for the Grizzlies.
Trying to put it on the floor in traffic, not a good idea.
Montana with a 3-point lead. 9:40 left in the second half. Matthias Ward using the right arm a little too aggressively against Quincy Pondexter, and that's going to send Pondexter. Check it, that's an offensive foul, player control foul against Matthias Ward.
Matthias Ward actually had good position there on the low block. All he had to do was just walk him up the lane. He didn't need to try to push him.
Thomas for 3, and the Huskies have tied this game at 44, and Wayne Tinkle, the head coach of Montana, takes a 30-second timeout.
Well,
just easy, in rhythm, and Thomas with the triple.
Well, Thomas has had some good looks the entire night. Once he got one to fall there in the lane, you kind of had a feeling that the bucket was going to start looking pretty good to him. And he's able to walk into that 3, as you said. He walks into it in rhythm and knocks it down. And now, tie game, 44 apiece.
Washington hitting just 29% of its shots from the floor. 5 of 15 now from 3-point range. Montana, 43% field goal shooting. They hit 5 of 14 from beyond the arc. Isaiah Thomas with 2 points in the first half, 6 points now in the second half, for a total of 8. Washington led in scoring by Thomas. Check that, Elston Turner with 9. So not a single Husky in double figures, and not a single Grizzly in double figures either. They have 3 players with 8 points. Stoddicker is strong as he had an open look from the baseline for a 3. Overton, nice split in the defense, and the lay-in for Benoit Overton. Have to stop that penetration if you're Montana. 2 guys there, and they let him go right between them.
Well, Washington, I'm sorry, dodged a bullet by giving Taylor that open 3 look over in the corner of the last possession. But that turns into a basket on the other end for Washington, as it allows them to get out of transition. As you see Johnson doing what he can do off the dribble. He's very tough to defend.
Anthony Johnson puts this game back into a tie at 46. Johnson, the first Grizzly, with double figures at 10. Thomas, look to Matthew Brian Ammoning. Pretty pass by Thomas.
That is a great find by Thomas. That is a beautiful play.
And Washington back up by 2. Interesting to see how long Wayne Tinkle decides to keep Brian Qualley on the bench with those 4 fouls.
Well, he's going to turn the game over to Johnson here coming down the stretch. I mean, he's the one guy that individually can match up with the Washington guys athletically and with his ability to score off the bounce. If the other guys are just paying attention, particularly if Washington wants to continue to try to double team him, he's pretty good at finding people too, so they just got to be ready to receive the passes.
Personal foul on Pondexter. It's Quincy's third, 5th team foul against the Huskies. Taylor to inbound to Johnson. Gant getting ready to return for the Huskies. Washington with a 48-46 lead. Johnson fading over Turner. Rebound Thomas. Overton with a burst to the hoop. Rebound by Stodiker. Nice play by Vinoy to get to the rack, just couldn't finish.
I think he was expecting contact.
Taylor dribbles out of trouble and hands the ball off to Anthony Johnson. Last year's Big Sky newcomer of the year. Number 23. Inside, he and Ward not on the same page. Pondexter in transition. Lays it up short. Stodiker. Really a poor pass to Johnson, who has to come back and foul Pondexter. A poor decision that time by Stodiker with a defender right next to Johnson.
Well, you see Thomas with that penetration with this no-look behind the head pass to Ryan Manning for the layup. Beautiful play by Thomas as he leads the Huskies, who now have a 2-point lead.
48-46, 14th rated Washington has battled back to take the lead against the Montana Grizzlies, thanks in part to 3-point shooting.
Well, we talked earlier about Washington not taking bad shots, but just not getting shots to fall. Elston Turner knocking down a 3 here in this run. Thomas knocking down a 3 in this run. I think have been pivotal in really loosening things up for Washington as they've turned that 12-point deficit into a 2-point lead here with 7:10 left to go.
Quincy Pondexter heading to the line where he's shot 88% so far this season. Just his 3rd point of the game. By the way, no Husky has reached double figures yet, but 10 players have scored. Elston Turner leads the way with 9. 2 for 2 at the stripe for the senior out of Fresno. And the Huskies with a 4-point lead. And Brian Qualley is back with 4 fouls for Montana, number 41, their center.
Yeah, that timeout was specifically to get him back in the game.
Overplay by Darnell Gant, could not catch up with the basketball.
Well, whatever the reason was that Darnell Gant didn't play in the first half, Coach Romar has his attention. He's been great ever since he set foot on the court.
Montana with its starting 5 on the court. 6:50 left in the second half. Johnson inside. Stodiker open for 3. In and out. He's gone cold from outside.
He has, but well, Washington dodging bullets there because those are good looks for him, and he specializes in making the 3-point shot, which actually got to pay a little closer attention to the scouting report about guys, how much space you're going to give them.
Pondexter, nice pass from Thomas.
There's Gant.
Inside, can't finish it at point-blank range.
He gets it back. He's battling in there.
And timeout taken by Lorenzo Romar. Thomas going up for the shot. Good defense played on him. He adjusts, finds Pondexter. Quincy taking it inside.
Hesitated just a tad,
yeah.
But boy, you saw Gant right there to be strong on the offensive glass, and he's been provided a lot of energy ever since he came into the game here with about 13 minutes.
Francis, in terms of what the Huskies are doing in this second half, they've wiped out that double-digit deficit. What do you like in terms of what they've done?
Well, I like the fact that they didn't lose their aggressiveness on the offensive end. They continued to attack. They didn't get on their heels. They didn't lose confidence in themselves. They just continued to do what they do. And I thought on the defensive end, again, they were able to create a few turnovers, which unfortunately for Montana, there's been 3 turnovers here in the second half that were what you would kind of call unforced error, where they just gave the ball to Washington with really no defense or anything being played on them. They just gave up the basketball, and that's cost them dearly.
Pick from Gant for Overton. Thomas for 3. And he's feeling it. Isaiah Thomas. Now the Huskies leading scorer with 11 points, 4 of 12 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3-point range. And Washington up by 7, 53-46. Washington's largest lead here tonight. Qualley inside, guarded by Gant, uses the body and goes to work. Nicely done by Brian Qualley. He's now at a double-double with 10 points to go along with his 11 rebounds.
It's the third straight double-double for Qualley.
And at the high post, Thomas looking for back-to-back threes, in and out. All knocked away by Turner, but last touched by Stoddicker. So a new shot clock for the Huskies. Abdul Gaddy, number 10, returns for the Huskies. Elston Turner checking out. Gaddy scoreless tonight with a couple of assists. Freshman out of Bellarmine Prep in Tacoma. Overton wheeling, dealing, unable to finish inside. Qualley with a rebound, and the Grizz in transition. Cherry inside. Draws contact, the hoop, the hack, and he'll try to complete the three-point play. Nice strong move by the little man.
I give a little guy credit. He's fearless. He is fearless. I mean, he took that ball in there and just got into the body of the Washington defender, drew the contact, was able to avoid the block shot as Gant was flying at him too, and an opportunity for a three-point play here. And even with the turnovers that Cherry had early in the game and some of the problems that he had, he, similar to the Washington players, has not lost confidence, has continued to be aggressive.
Foul on Gaddy, his second, 6th team foul. Overton checks out. Scott Suggs returns. Three-point play for Cherry. And the Huskies lead down to just 2 points at 53-51. As we approach 5 minutes left. Thomas into the paint, comes up short. McGillis touched it last as Gant came in to contest that rebound.
And Montana's changed their zone up here last few possessions, gone into more of a 1-2-2, but they have not been able to keep Thomas or Overton out of the paint.
Thomas guarded by Cherry. Here's a mismatch in favor of Pondexter. Can't do much with it, though, as Qualley, the big man, came out on him. Cross court to an open Gaddy for three, no good. Qualley with the rebound. 13 boards for Brian Qualley. And Montana with a chance to tie or take the lead on this possession. Gillis in trouble.
They got
Johnson.
Stoddiker's open over on the weak side if they can find him.
Stoddiker inside to Qualley.
Oh, that's a good move.
Goes up strong. And he'll head to the line, fouled by Darnell Gant.
Qualley is a real difference maker for Montana. They are a different team when he is on the floor. But that's a nice job by Stoddiker to find him. And just a quick spin move to the baseline leaves Darnell Gant in the dust, and just a tough luck on the finish there where he had a chance for the three-point play.
Montana has taken just 2 free throws tonight. That's their first miss. Qualley shooting 61.5% at the stripe. Elston Turner returning for the Huskies. Abdul Gaddy out. Here comes Tyrese Brashears. Qualley with a season-high 13 rebounds. Huskies with a large advantage at the free throw line. Qualley hits the second to pull Montana within one at 53-52 with 4:23 left here in the second half. Montana on a 6-0 run. Brashears, all deflected. Qualley, Stoddiker will go inside to Cherry. Too strong, but fouled, and Cherry will go to the line. Qualley was there to clean up the mess anyway and would have given Montana the lead. Cherry will have to try to get that done at the stripe.
Well, not a good decision, number one, by Thomas as he tries to thread the needle with another pass. And you see Stoddiker here just really taking his time and reading the defense and dropping it off to Cherry. And Cherry draws a foul, and he has a chance to give the Grizzlies the lead back.
Rough play that time for the person on the camera.
Yeah.
Hope all is well on the baseline.
Yeah, he looks like he's doing okay down there.
Scott looks like he's okay.
But for Montana, I mean, one thing you have to look at from their perspective is that this is the last game that they play before they get into league play, because their next game is against Northern Arizona, and then they follow that up with Northern Colorado, and those are league games for them. So coming off a win at Oregon and a pretty good performance here at Washington, whether they win or lose, they should be ready to go when it comes to Big Sky time.
3 missed free throws, though, between Cherry and Qualley, and Montana's down by 1. They haven't had a lot of opportunities. They need to Do a better job at the stripe. Thomas doing what he does best, hanging and hitting the deuce. 3-point Husky lead. Thomas now with 13.
So good at that. So good at that.
Stodiker open as Cherry goes left hand. Sweet move by Will Cherry.
Well, this is a kid that at McClymonds High School in Oakland won a state championship as a junior, played in the state championship again as a senior. They lost to Westchester, so he's used to pressure situations. He comes from a good program, and he knows how to play. And these are invaluable minutes for a true freshman to play in this atmosphere and have the success that he's having.
Leading score for Montana now with 12. Up and under by Pondexter, no good. Qualley, another rebound, now with 14. Montana with an opportunity to take the lead. Down by 1, 55-54. Inside of 3 minutes here at Heck.
You see Washington not pressuring the ball quite as much as they were early in the game because Montana's two guards out front, Johnson and Cherry, have both shown that they can beat the defense off the dribble.
Cherry for 3. And Montana with the lead, 57-55.
And that's confidence because Cherry's not really a good outside shooter, but he's feeling it right now, playing with a lot of confidence and didn't hesitate to take that 3 and knock it down.
Had taken just 1 3-point shot coming into this game. Pondexter to a wide open Thomas for 3, in and out. Offensive rebound, Pondexter, and 1.
Stay true to yourself. Quincy Pondexter stays true to himself, stays in the glass, hasn't had a big offensive game, but has continued to go to the glass, continued to defend.
Thomas going inside, hanging. The response by Will Cherry, now with 15 points, a career high for him. And then at the other end, off the miss, one of the best in America rises to the occasion. Buckle up, we're going down to the wire. Tied at 57, Montana, and 14th rated Washington with 2:20 left to play. And the Grizz getting some huge play by the true freshman, Will Cherry.
Well, Will Cherry started this game off a little shaky as he turned the ball over 2 times in the first 2 possessions for Montana. But he sat down the rest of the first half and has come back here in the second half and played very well. He's 6 for 7 from the floor. He knocked down a big 3 here just a minute ago, has a season high, career high 15 points, and has really done a nice job to settle down that backcourt. So he, along with Johnson, have done a really good job of keeping Montana close here. Now we have a tie game with 2:20 left.
Quincy Pondexter looking to complete the 3-point play and does, and gives Washington a 58-57 lead. Scott Suggs checking out, and Benoit Overton, outstanding perimeter defender for the Huskies, checking back in, and he'll be matched up with Cherry. Welcome back, Bank of America Arena in Seattle. Montana looking to reclaim the lead against the Huskies. And the ball inexplicably turned over. Wayne Tinkle looking at Johnson. I could read his lips. He goes, "What are you doing?"
They're going to look at this film, win or lose, and there's going to be 4 or 5 possessions like that where they just turned the ball over, no pressure, just gave it up.
19 turnovers for Montana. The Huskies with 9.
They had 19 turnovers here last year against Washington, but last year it was a 20-point blowout for Washington.
Turner inside the 3-point line and drops the deuce, and the Huskies by 3.
I do what I do, and what I do is shoot the basketball.
That's what he does. Elston Turner with the 11 points, 2 of 6 from 3-point range. Johnson guarded by Thomas.
Going to get Stodiker a look at the top of the key if they could, but Washington defends it well.
Stodiker for 3. In and out. And the rebound by Matthew Bryan Ammoning. 5-0 Husky run. Dogs lead by 3. Still a 1-possession game, and Montana can play solid D here. Another opportunity to tie this thing up on their next possession. Thomas guarded by Johnson. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Isaiah Thomas looking over to Lorenzo Romar, waiting for the go signal. There it is. Thomas losing the ball. Cherry picks it up in transition. The crossover, he'll pull it out. Wayne Tinkle wants a timeout. And he gets it. Ford Johnson had some issues
Boy,
on the sideline.
Cherry
living dangerously.
living on the edge over there with the true freshman.
So 37.1 seconds left here at Bank of America Arena. Good ball moving by the Huskies as they swing it around to Turner. Stepped in and dropped that two-point shot. One of the better outside shooters the Huskies have, Francis.
Yes, well, he's a good outside shooter, and even last year came in a lot of times as a freshman and got some looks and showed that he had the ability to shoot the ball, but has continued to look at the basket here the entire night and has stayed on the floor because his defense tonight has not been that bad either, and that's going to get him minutes as he and Suggs and Holiday kind of battle each other, I think, for minutes at that 2-3 swing position as they get deeper into the season.
Turner also with 5 rebounds. Well, do you think Montana, in terms of what they might want to do right here, you can go for the quick 2 possibly, and then if you have to commit the foul, or do you go for the 3, try to free up Stodiker, maybe Cherry, who...
I would expect them to put Taylor back in the game, give themselves a chance for a good look at 3, whether it be Taylor, whether it be Stodiker. Cherry's knocked one down, even though we know he's not really an outside shooter. We know Johnson can create, and he can pull up and shoot a 3 as well, so it's just a matter if they want to get a quick 2 or just take the first good shot that they get, or if they really want to try to run something and get a 3 and go for the tie.
You were right. Taylor and McGillis and Johnson, Qualley, Stodiker, Cherry on the bench right now. Montana 6 of 18 from three-point range. Stodiker 2 of 4 as the ball comes into Johnson. Guarded by Holiday.
Stodiker's had some good looks, some shots that have just gone in and out. And you would expect that maybe they try to get their senior look with him playing here in front of his hometown fans as he's from Lake Washington High School over in Kirkland.
Johnson trying to create. Good defense by Thomas.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. They still have 9, 8.
Inside to Qualley. The foul. He'll head to the line. Very good chance at a conventional three-point play, but Qualley could not get the lay in to go. Well, I thought a good decision there by Montana. They weren't getting anything on the perimeter and decided to dump it in. Right. Let's get our 2 and go to work from there.
They looked for the 3 early. It wasn't there. They stayed patient. There was still plenty of time left on the shot clock, and with all the attention that was being paid to the perimeter shooters that Montana had on the floor, it left Qualley inside, isolated, and they got him the ball. And when they came over for the help, it was a little late. But now he only shoots 61% from the line. He needs to knock these 2 down.
1 for 2 at the stripe tonight. 11 points, 14 rebounds, make it 12 points for Brian Qualley. Junior out of Williston, North Dakota.
They have to be pleased with his play. 3rd straight double-double for Qualley, playing with a lot of confidence, and has really played huge here this evening.
And Qualley connects. College Hoops Northwest on the way, presented by the Snoqualmie Casino. Stick around for that. Quick foul committed by the Grizzlies. Ryan Stodiker committing that foul. And double bonus for Vinoy Overton, with the Huskies up by 1. 13 seconds left here at Bank of America Arena. Vinoy Overton, his first trip to the stripe tonight, hit 66% at the line on the season, and that percentage goes up a bit. Holiday returning for the Huskies. Brian Ammoning checking out. Overton now with 8 points, go along with 4 assists and 2 rebounds.
You see Montana bring Selvig back into the game, so they have 5 guys on the floor now that are capable of knocking down a 3-point shot, as we saw Selvig, even at 7 feet, knock one down earlier.
Which they'll need to do, down by 3. Johnson, Overton with the block. And that defense coming to the forefront that Vinoy Overton is known for, as he was right in the mug of Anthony Johnson.
Well, we talk all the time about Overton being one of the best on-the-ball defenders in the country, and he just anticipated that. He knew that Johnson was going to look for a shot, and with him being a lefty, he blocks the shot with the close hand And great defensive play by Benoit Overton.
30-second timeout, 4.1 seconds left. And the Huskies just one made free throw away from clinching a 5th straight victory to open this 2009-2010 season. After tonight's game, the Huskies will hit the road as they will take on Texas Tech on the 3rd of December, and then back here on the 6th to face Cal State Northridge. That game, by the way, that Cal State Northridge game right here on FSN.
Good
match up on the 12th with Georgetown, which might generate a little interest down in Anaheim. And then that Portland team that you talked about that's doing some very special things so far here on the 19th of December.
Well, the Texas Tech matchup coming up next week. The Pac-10 Big 12 Challenge. Texas Tech 7-0.
Overton missing the first, so a little bit of life for the Grizzlies if Overton misses this one. He does not, coming through in the clutch, and that should do it. The Huskies with a 4-point advantage. Johnson brings the ball into front court. They will not contest the shot. The 3 offline, and the Washington Huskies escape a real scare from the Montana Grizzlies as the Huskies hold on to win 63-59 as the Huskies outscored Montana 8-2 over the last 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Look, it wasn't pretty. Sometimes, though, you can really gain something from a game like this if you're the Huskies, who have not really been challenged this year with every game on their home court. Montana giving them a real test tonight.
Well, you have to tip your hat to Montana. They played their hearts out. And as we mentioned, when they look at the video, they're going to see some things that they did that really cost them this basketball game. But you give Washington credit. Shots were not falling early. It seems like the basket had a lid on it. They stayed aggressive. They continued to take shots that they've taken all year long, play their style of basketball, and down the end got some defensive stops and were able to get some shots to fall, and they were able to gut out a 4-point win.